Okay, so good morning or good afternoon to everyone. So this will be our first meeting in our subject assessment in Learning 2. So before we proceed to our main agenda, let me just introduce myself. So I am Regine F. Ornedo and I will be your teacher for this subject. So as you all know, I am also the guidance counselor of our school. So I always say this to my previous students that whenever I am inside the classroom or I am teaching here in whatever platforms we are using, I want you to think that I am your teacher. So whenever I am outside the classroom and I am not your teacher, I want you to think that I am the guidance counselor. So whenever you want to talk someone or you need someone, you can visit my office or you can use our online platforms such as our Facebook page, the Guidance and Counseling Grace Mission College. So I will not discuss anything today. I will just give you the syllabus and what to expect throughout the semester. So this is the overview of the lesson for this semester. So number one is our subject consists of 11 chapters, and each chapter packed with the following features. So number one, review for mastery, collaborate or collaboration, check for understanding, and you have to expect that we will do research and some reflections. So let's proceed to chapter 1. So chapter 1 explains some keywords in the assessment process, the types of assessment, and current trends. So if you are familiar and have studied the outcome-based education, so we will just have the review regarding the mission vision and what is the purpose of the OBE. So in chapter 1, we will just have the review or just study or recall the terms and the concepts of the OBE. In chapter 2, this is concerned with the constructive alignment in the context of that much talk about the outcome-based education or what we call the OBE and outcome-based teaching and learning OBTL and understanding by the design or the UBD. So if you are already familiarized with these terms, so we will just correlate these three outcome-based education, the outcome-based teaching learning, and the understanding by design. So together with this, we will also talk about the diagnostic and the formative summative assessment. So as you can remember, in assessment in learning 1, you just studied there the basic concepts of the OBE. While in assessment in learning 2, we will proceed in making the assessment. Okay, so we will discuss here the norm reference versus the criterion reference and etc. In chapter 3, outcome-based education gets extended in this chapter with a more lengthy discussion on learning outcomes, their sources, and characteristics of good learning outcomes. In chapter 4, so we will now start discussing the authentic assessment. So its meaning, the methods and tools, and also we will discuss the features of the assessment. Aside from that, we will also discuss the types of the authentic assessment, and we will emphasize the GRASP or the GRASPS and a concrete way of doing the authentic assessment. Next, in chapter 4, developing the scoring rubrics. Since we are studying the assessment, we need to know how to make a rubrics. So this is the logically flows from chapter 4. So the scoring process and the products, which are all evidence of the authentic performance, are appropriately scored with scoring rubrics. So in chapter 6 and 7, so we will discuss here the portfolio assessment. So the e-portfolio as an assessment tool and as a communication medium. So these are the detailed discussions on how to come up with the different types of portfolios and how to use them effectively for learning. So after the chapter 6 and 7, so we will have our midterm examination. Next is chapter 8. So this is the assessment in the affective domain. So this presents the various methods and tools used to assess learning outcomes in the affective domain that include attitude, habits, and soft skills and teaches students to develop appropriate tools to assess learning in the affective domain. So in here, we will just discuss the methods and tools in assessing learning in the affective domain. So the development of assessment tools in the affective domain. So in chapter 9, we will tackle some top techniques and tools for the formative assessment, including the self-assessment as an important feature of self-assessment. So, why do formative assessment and also the formative assessment techniques? In Chapter 10, the grading and reporting. So, after the assessment, we need also to discuss, or we need also to learn how to grade and how to report the grades. So this will be focusing on computing grades based on the grading policy of the Department of Education, and after a discussion on the function of grading, reporting, and the components of the grading system. So this also includes with how to report students' progress to parents effectively. Next, the last chapter, the chapter 11, the reflective practice using learning assessment data. So this is ultimately meant to instill in the education student enrolled in this course the habit of reflective practice for improved teaching and learning by reflecting on the impact of his or her teaching on learners' performance revealed through assessment results. So the reflective practice form improved learning also includes reflecting on ratings and comments and rating scores given by students, by peer, and by supervisor. So after chapter 11, so we will have our final examination or our finals. So estimated, all in all, we will have 18 lessons, more or less 18 lessons. So the first question is, what is the mode of learning? So we will use the online platforms. So quiz, attendance, performance, midterm, and final examinations will be evaluated and monitored through using the online platform. So such as Google Forms, the Messenger, and the YouTube. So we will use Google Forms while conducting the quiz, the midterm, and the final examinations. And all communications will be sent only to our official GC. So we will use YouTube for our recorded lesson. Next is, what will you do as a student? So number one, you will religiously attend the online class in order to pass the subject. Second one is the schedule of an online class will consume of 1 hour, 30 minutes discussion, and 30 minutes quiz. So to our face-to-face, we agreed that we will conduct our online class every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock in the evening. So from 7 o'clock to 7:30, we will have our discussion, and 7:31 to 8 o'clock, we will have our quiz. So this is the important reminder. So the third one, study and pass the exams and quizzes. So before I forget, if you are planning to take the board exam after you graduated from college, the assessment in learning 1 and assessment in learning 2 is included in the subject of professional education. So it is very important if you studied and familiarize yourselves with the basic concepts and terminologies discussed in this subject. Last one is, if you have sickness or illness that prohibits you to use the online platform, you have to coordinate with your teacher. Next is the grading system. So 50% for midterm and 50% for finals. So 25% for quizzes and 25% for midterm examination. Same as for the finals. So it is very important to pass and to attend our online class, because after the discussion, I always give quizzes. So the quizzes and the two major examinations are the only basis of your grade. So I suggest that you religiously attend our online class. Next is, these are my rules. So number one is, you have to follow my instructions intently. So all the instructions will be given and will be sent to our official GC, or my instruction is included in every quiz we will have. Next is to attend the class regularly. So you will just give me 1 hour to 3 hours of your time every week. So the third one is, after the discussion, there is always a quiz. The midterm and the final examination consist of 100 items, and this is in a form of multiple choice. So I am very strict with the schedules and deadline. If I schedule your exam to this date, you have to attend and you have to take the exam to that certain date. All communications will be communicated only using our official messenger group chat. So please, no personal message. So, this is the commonly question I received. So, what happened if you didn't get quiz, midterm, or final examination on the said schedule? So, this is my answer. So, when quiz, you have to wait for the announcement of your teacher if she will give you a chance to take the quiz. So, when midterm and final examination, you have to wait for the announcement of the special exam schedule. So, this is the reminder. I only give one special exam. And that's all. If you have any questions, if you have any violent reaction regarding our orientation, you can chat in our official GC. So, welcome to our Assessment and Learning 2 subject. Again, so I am Miss Regine F. Ornedo and I will be your teacher to this subject.